Good morning, anyone who's quick off the mark and joining us for this morning meditation. We have this precious few minutes just to arrive, and it's a wonderful preparation for meditation too. I appreciate it myself. Just that few minutes where you're not trying to do anything, you're not even trying to meditate. You're just relaxing, just being still. And anticipating what could be a good day, although it's difficult to judge days, isn't it? It's what you make of the things that occur, the things that come up in any day. And yeah, hopefully this meditation is a real boon, a real help, especially if you can do it in the morning. I think it does help you to set up your day in a good way. And it acts as an anchor, something to return to. So yeah. I appreciate having to think that bit more and be a bit more involved in it rather than a cursory practice of my own every morning, which I do. So the challenge of leading a meditation is a wonderful sort of practice, really. So if you're joining us, just take that moment to say hello, just say good morning, and I can say good morning back then because I know who you are. Yeah, I'm aware that we have a range of different people leading the meditations, and I have been watching some of them, very accomplished people like Joe and Alex from Sheffield, and different approaches, different ways of leading into the meditation, but very rich as you see it as a whole. Yeah, so as I say, we've got this wonderful few minutes where I just sort of just waffle on a bit, really, till it's the start time of 7 o'clock. But what's wrong with a bit of spontaneous improvisation? I used to play in a jazz rock band anyway, so I should be used to it. I was reading a post on Facebook about the situation in Merida in Venezuela, and a friend is trying to raise money for the school children in some of the most deprived areas of Merida. And it's heart-wrenching to think that, these youngsters, they're even struggling to get food. That's the situation. Good morning, Chris. And well, I just contrast it with I'm going to Slimming World and trying to get a bit of this off. I've done very well. In the last 3 weeks, I've lost 7.5 pounds. But it does sort of bring it home to you when you read about the plight of other people who can't get food, the basics, the absolute essentials, and what they have to resort to just to get what we take for granted and possibly have too much of as well. So without being too hard on myself or taking a stick to my back, I just think, well, it's worth reflecting on my good fortune, or our good fortune, if we live comfortable lives. Nothing wrong in being comfortable as such, and that brings its own challenges. Morning, Sarah. But it is also good to just sort of sit back and reflect. I have so much. It's so easy to get lost in the problems, the difficulties, like COVID and all sorts of things that will dominate the news and our thinking. But we do live in very comfortable, most of us, I can't guarantee it for everyone, but most of us have got very comfortable lives, and if only we can have the sort of happy-headedness. That's a new phrase that I've just come up with. Morning, Helen. Yeah, Hello, everybody. Yes, that's good. So yes, so we'll make a start. Last week I tried to focus a little bit more on self-metta, but this week I want to focus a bit on loving kindness for a friend. Morning, Stuart. Morning, Lynn. So it's not enough to just sort of have a vague intention. Well, may the friend be well. I think we could sort of explore different approaches that we might use in a friendship, but just bring them into the meditation as reflections. So, for example, with any friend, you can rejoice in their merits, can't you? It gives a way of focusing on particular qualities or things that they've done. And rejoicing in merits, finding things to really rejoice in is a very good practice in and out of the meditation. And another thing to bear in mind is, be the one who gets in touch. If things have gone a bit quiet. I used to have a friend who I'd have to get in touch and say, well, things gone a bit quiet at your end, just give her a little sort of nudge. And yeah, it can be a bit difficult to feel, well, they're not keeping in touch with me, but at least be the one who takes a chance and does get in touch. Again, you can use this inside your meditation and be the one who arranges coffee dates and sets things up. A really good practice, and this can be a nice sort of thing to visualize or remember in the meditation. Sending little presents. I know myself, I love getting chocolate in the post, and I do sometimes get it too. So that's the sort of thing that you can bring in the meditation, and it might also feed into the outer life, that your friendship, your connection with your good friend takes on more of a it benefits from the added sort of ideas and focus. And another reflection on all stages, really, that compassion can be a way in. I found this myself, that I'm one of these people who doesn't seem to feel much, a bit like Eddie Izzard and other people who lost the mothers at a young age. But I have found that if I approach people from a point of view of compassion and realize, well, we're all suffering to some degree, we all struggle with life, then there's a way in. And once you're in there and you're feeling other feelings, you can open out then into other feelings and feelings more of kindness and joy and well-wishing. So that's just a few thoughts. I'm aware Shakipada's on holiday, so I wish her well, and especially with the heat. And I hope she's managing to stay cool, as it were. So yes, just a brief sort of word about the meditation itself. 5 stages. The first stage, we develop loving kindness towards ourselves. We use various methods, like dropping in a phrase, something like, may I be well and happy, a bit like dropping a pebble into a pool. It's good to just sort of wait for a moment or two to see what effect your reflections had. And the other ways of approaching the meditation are to try and imagine things like you are well, or remember a time when you were really thriving, and maybe people were singing your praises. So it's very good to bring in what other people have said and appreciate about you. And if you're struggling with self-love, well, bear in mind other people love you. You've presumably got friends and family who really do have a high regard for you, love you to bits. The second stage, this is a good friend. So it's usually a relatively easy stage. You remember the things that you've done together, you wish them well. And as I mentioned just now, rejoice in their merits. You really build up a warm connection with them. Now, in the third stage, the interesting stage, this is the neutral person. So you might see them regularly, but you don't have feelings for them either way. So now the task is to make them more of a human being rather than a paper cutout. It's not just a face that you see regularly. You start to see the humanity in that face. Bear in mind, they've got friends and family. And you might start to see, you know, a bit of a glint in the eyes, a bit of a hint of a smile. Then the fourth stage, this is the person that we find difficult. And what's really important is not to be expecting too much of a turnaround. You know, maybe you will carry on finding them difficult, but you're turning it round by having the intention. And you might sort of come in and out of that. You might return to your own feelings of well-being if it's stirring up painful memories. And it might be sensible to start with someone who's not too difficult, you know, not the person who really damaged you early in life or that sort of thing. And then the wonderful aspect to this practice that the Buddha taught us, you expand out your well-wishing, your metta, as we call it, the loving kindness to everyone right round the world. So if we set ourselves up, just taking a moment or two to really try to relax into a sustainable posture, letting go of any cares and concerns. We're setting ourselves up for a better day by doing this practice. So the development of loving kindness, the loving kindness meditation. And in this first stage, developing loving kindness towards ourselves. We are worthy of love. The fact that we're here practicing says a lot about us. So may we be well and happy. May we reconnect with a time when we were genuinely happy. Try to stay in touch with your physical experience. You get a sense of your feelings around the heart area, the chest. You can breathe into these areas as you sit and meditate. Just remember you're a human being, and how wonderful it is to have this opportunity to practice. If you find yourself getting distracted, just bring yourself back to the meditation, but do that in a kindly, understanding way. Try not to get frustrated with yourself. We need to be friends to ourselves. So you regard yourself in a kindly way, an encouraging way. Now we move to the second stage, the good friend. Someone who we have a good regard for, hopefully of a similar age, and we're just simply friends. So now we start to wish them well. And perhaps in our imagination, we return to times we spent together, and we actually see them and we feel their warmth and maybe the smile when they were pleased to see us. Shared moments. Maybe you shared a lot of laughter, even a fit of the giggles. So in remembering that, maybe you connect with the feelings. There's a real connection between you two. Again, just checking in with yourself. What are you feeling? Is there anxiety in your stomach? Are you a bit tight across the chest? Just relax. Perhaps there's things that you especially admire about your friend. Might be the way they dress, their success in their career, or their qualities as a mother or a friend. And before we say goodbye to our friend, we can have a hug. Delight in the thought of seeing each other again at some point. This can all be played out in your imagination. You might even tell your friend how much that you appreciate them. You might even use the 3 magic words, I love you. Now we come on to the so-called neutral person. So you bear in mind, well, they might be neutral to you, but there are people who love them and maybe work with them and really delight in their qualities. So again, using the imagination, you might sort of fill out their picture that you have. You know, you can see them more as a person in a context with friends and family, and they have their own dreams. In fact, they're not much different from you. At this very moment, they're breathing and they're feeling. If you imagine having a friendly encounter with them sometime, it might actually bring it about. If the phrases you use are starting to sound a bit hollow, perhaps think in terms of wishing their dreams come true. So in focusing on them and their well-being and the love that they deserve, you also bring good feelings in on yourself. And perhaps you can form the intention that all the neutral people you meet, all the people who get on your bus, all the people you might see in the supermarket, you want to have a good attitude, a good feeling towards them. That's what we can build up in the meditation, a feeling of loving kindness towards all the neutral people. Now, as we gently let go of the neutral person, we start to focus on someone that we find difficult. They're not difficult in themselves. They've probably got people who love them. There might be mutual friends who admire them. But for some reason or another, we're finding them difficult. We have difficult feelings. They might have hurt us. They might have hurt us really badly. But we don't want that to just stay and fester in our hearts. So for our own good, as well as theirs, we're taking the initiative. They might not be able to do anything, but we can take the initiative. We can start to turn it round. So we start with the intention of, may they be well and happy. May their lives be making progress. It's a good idea at some point just to check your posture. Make sure you've not started to slump and your shoulders have not started to drag your head forward. So remain alert. This is obviously a challenging part of the practice, especially if you've been hurt deeply by a person. But forgiveness is so beautiful. You might have to go right down to the depths of your feelings in your heart in order to find forgiveness. But just making a start will make a difference. With some people, it might be the work of some time, years even, before you really feel that you've resolved the difficulties. But with persistence, if you persevere, you will have some success. There will be some change in that relationship. Now, as we gently bow out of that relationship, that connection, we can return to ourselves for a moment. Make sure that we are still in touch with positive feelings, the good feelings of warmth and love towards ourselves. And then briefly reconnect with the good friend, then the so-called neutral person, and the person we find difficult, before we start to look outwards. Wishing everyone in our immediate environment well, the people that we live with, may they be well and happy. May things be going well in their lives, especially at a time of tension and anxiety. May they find some peace in their hearts. Gradually moving outwards. So the part of the country you're in, whether it be York or Blackburn or Darwin or Chorley or Peterborough or Nottingham, wherever it is, Leeds, may the people in your locality, may they be well and happy going about their lives. You might even see them in your imagination, scurrying off to get the bus or driving off in the car to work. At this very moment, people are starting their day. So may they do well. May their expectations be realized. And we keep up this momentum, gradually moving further and further out. So the whole of your county, the whole of Yorkshire, the whole of Lancashire, Nottinghamshire, Cambridgeshire, wherever you find yourself, may all these people, may they all be making progress. May they all be happy. You might find as you reflect on them that you have feelings of joy or even tears of joy are welling up. There's so many people around, all needing love, all desiring success in various forms. So everyone throughout the country, may they all be well. And we gradually move right round the world. So we cover France, Germany, Russia, our so-called enemies, China, the whole of India, where there's a lot of suffering at the moment. We don't stop at any border. We cross over into Iran. All the countries right round the world. And we include animals, because they do suffer. You only need to watch them and keep in mind that what they're subjected to, or the struggle they have just to survive. That's why we say, may all beings be well and happy, making progress. May they have joy in their lives. So if you're able to just sit and savor the moment before you have to go off and get into your day, well, that's useful. But anyone who's going off to work and getting on with things, well, I wish you well. Thank you for being with me in this meditation. Good morning, Val. Good to see that you're there. And Nikki, yeah, good morning to you as well. Yeah. And I can't help but think about Shaka Padar. Has she been on the beach in this hot weather? We'll hear some stories when she gets back. So again, thank you for being with me in the meditation, and yeah, have a good day. And I'm not sure who it is tomorrow. Is it? I think it might be Joe tomorrow, but or Alex, or it could be somebody different. Anyway, have a good time. Have a good day. Good luck with everything. Yeah. Thank you. And you're welcome. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Suzanne. Oh, well done. Yeah. See you next time. Bye-bye now.